I'm joined today by Kate Mulgrew, who is most known to Star Trek fans as Captain Kathryn Janeway on the hit TV show Star Trek Voyager. Thank you for taking time to speak to us.
It's my pleasure.
Now, you've been in the acting industry for a while, to put it mildly.
How long do you think I've been in the acting?
Yeah, you had a tendency to was a champ, didn't you? It was first encouraged by your mother.
I was. So how long do you think I've been at this?
Oh, I'd say 20, 30 years.
32 years.
There you go.
I think 33 years.
So what captured your imagination and made you first want to act?
I made the nuns cry. I read The White Cliffs by Alice Duer Miller, and I made the nuns cry. And if you can make Midwestern nuns cry, you can do anything. So that was it. It was simple. Also, we had to get out of the house. I was one of 8 children. We were not allowed to stay.
And you had the support of your mother.
I did.
She was very helpful towards you. She
was great.
And is that something you think that drove you throughout the career, just to keep pushing and make your mother more proud of you?
I'm examining this more now, at this age, than I ever have before. I think she was crucial to everything that I've done in my life. We don't understand until we get much older the relationships that define us. But it was my relationship with my mother. On what levels, I'm not exactly sure, so I'm writing about that now and thinking about it a great deal. Certainly I wanted her happiness. And if anything that I could do could provide that, I would do it. I would not have articulated this that way at 20, but I can tell you this today. So did I choose acting? Did acting choose me, or did my mother choose both for me? I don't know. It's all a bit of a muddle. Probably go to my grave not knowing for sure. I also always wanted to be a doc. Anyway, acting it was.
And you moved from Iowa to New York to study. How would that feel to you? Because you're going from Iowa to a big city like New York. Were you intimidated?
Heaven. Have you ever been to Iowa?
No.
It's the heartland of America. It's farming country.
Yeah.
Lots of cornfields. New York was just great.
And you were not intimidated until you just threw yourself?
No, I was fearless when I was young. That's changed a bit as I've aged, unfortunately. Isn't that strange? You'd think it would work the other way.
Yeah, well, I thought it would do.
Doesn't usually. Life tempers you.
Mm.
You know?
Spirits you down a bit.
Well, once you go through some slings and arrows, you're a little more careful. But no, I was fearless when I was young, and I simply adored New York and everything that it represented and everything that it could offer me. Yeah. I thought the sky was the limit when I was young.
And you certainly propelled yourself. I mean, 23, you did Mrs. Columbo.
Too young to play it, as it turned out. But I should have been older. 23, playing the wife to that man was too young. Or do you think that 23-year-olds should sleep with 60-year-olds?
Today's culture, there's no difference, though, is there, really?
Well, I'm asked, but didn't answer the question.
It depends on the relationship, I suppose, doesn't it?
I suppose it does, yeah.
And you got critical success for that role. So why are you saying you were too young to play it? The critics loved you.
The critics loved it, but nonetheless, it was cancelled after 2 seasons, I think. And again, I would say, theoretically, because Columbo, Peter Falk, who had such an enormous success with his own series, I think that the viewing public thought it's just incongruous that this young woman would be this man's wife. They should have made it just a different idea altogether. However, it was critically acclaimed, and I had a good time, and I'm just as happy. Because had it gone on much longer, I think I would have been miserable. Hollywood's always been difficult for me, and certainly when I was very young, I was anxious to get back to New York.
And then, did it help you prepare in any way for the experience you have with Star Trek and Voyager in particular?
All television experience stands one in good stead as one climbs onto the bridge for the first 18-hour day. And, but nothing on earth could have prepared me for the rigors of this particular work. It really was shockingly hard at the beginning.
How did you get into Voyager? How did the role become available to you?
I'll just say I was shot out of a cannon. First it was offered, as you may or may not know, to somebody else, Geneviève Bouchot, a French-Canadian actress, who lasted 1 day.
That's great on your CV.
1 day.
But
you know, I'm not only grateful to her, I admire her. She called everybody in and she said that she's not going to do this. Would make me happy. And she was right. If she'd waited any longer, we would have been in a real soup. So she didn't establish the character. She lasted Popeye. And I think at that point, they reviewed men.
Yeah.
They all thought, yeah, a woman is never going to be able to do this. because we're all torn. I have children and she had children, and it's 18 hours a day, and you're speaking techno-babble, and you're in the Delta Quadrant. Right.
Whole world away from what you eat.
That's right. So I think they had men in the waiting in the wings, but they had about 3 or 4 of us whom they'd seen before, and they called us back in, and then there's just I liken it to a prize fight. You just go in swinging, and the lady left standing gets the job. So that's called going to network.
Yeah.
You go around and around and around until you're the only one, and it was me. And they called me and said, "Can you start on Monday?" So I had 2 seconds to say goodbye to my theretofore rather pleasant life. But I was happy about it. I needed it and I wanted it. It came at a good time in my life. And it was just an amazing chapter for the following 7 years.
And were there any apprehensions on your part, really? Because the first time as a female captain has stepped up to the plate and led the series. Were you worried about it at all?
Oh, no. Of course. I mean, it's a man's game. Captains are men, aren't they? And the demographic was male. It was 25 to 35, perhaps 20 to 35 young men watching Star Trek and wanting to see their captain, swaggering on bridge. And I was a woman of childbearing years, so I could be the mother of the largest audience for Voyager, and I immediately put that one, if you'll pardon the expression, to bed by telling the producers that I wasn't going to have any sex or any romance, because it would be too discomforting for the young men watching, and certainly for me. And I was going to concentrate on the good captain. So that's what I did. It took me a while to win the producers over so that they let me have my own voice. But the minute they did that, I was free. And everybody came along. But it was rigorous, and it was a challenge.
It ran for 7 years. It was very successful.
It ran for 7 years.
And it was successful. I definitely would say that. And did you ever find, what was your reaction from your children? Because you are now a big Star Trek actor.
They hated it.
Really?
They hated it. And one of them has still sort of not forgiven it. Children don't want their mother to, first of all, be an actor. And secondly, they really don't want them to be a celebrity. They want them to be a mother. And there's absolutely no reconciling this. So my advice to any woman who's going into acting is think it out. Can't have it all.
Yeah.
And every actress I know who's got kids has suffered. I have to understand it from their point of view. Bye, Mom. Oh, I was gone when they woke up, gone when they came home. Phone never stopped ringing. The demands never stopped coming in. And they really resented it. 7 years while they're forming is a long, long time. And
so do you think that put them off acting?
No. The one who hated it has become an actor. So, that's the way life goes.
It's a sense of irony there.
Yeah, it's great irony.
So Star Trek has led him to become an actor, and he now resents it.
Actually, it wasn't Star Trek. It was, I had been an actress all my life. I think it's that they knew that I loved the craft. So that's what he saw and got out of it. But the mother pays a pretty big price because you're just torn by guilt all the time. Still hasn't left me. Hell, I'm 38 years old. Why?
You're only as young as you feel, or the person you feel.
When I became Captain Janeway.
Harry? And what are your fondest memories then, if you have any, of being on a set for
those guys, the other actors, Bob Picardo, who's become a great friend, Robbie McNeil making me laugh so hard I thought I was going to die, John Nathan Phillips and his goodness. You spend that kind of time together. You're very intimate. Very intimate, and it transcends every other kind of relationship. You become closer in many ways than you do to your own family because you're sharing this secret, which is called "This is my life," but nobody knows anything else about it except you guys. So bonds are formed of, and some of them endure and some of them do not. But in my case, and very luckily, and I've measured all of my success in life by my friendships. I've walked away with Bob Picardo, who I would call a real intimate of mine. And I'm very, very grateful for that. The work sharpens, it hones, it steadies. It's a discipline. I think that that kind of discipline has saved me. Otherwise, I'd be a mad woman.
And you've moved on now. You're in theatre.
Smile, but you agree.
Well, you're not mad. I think everyone is a little bit mad in their own different areas. I think it's what makes us individuals.
Yes.
If we were all the same person, it would be boring.
How old are you?
28 this year.
So young. You have a daughter your age. I could make any number of matches in this one. Call that.
I'm single, so there we go, match away. So what goes through your mind when you're first invited to events such as SFB?
Such as this? Great. I'll go over. I love England. I was told by Papa Carter, who's the one who got in touch with me, that these people, and this is a wonderful convention to do, that it's small, and that it's sort of got a lot of character, and there's great fun, and everybody's here just to sort of really enjoy it. And so, on his advice, I said, sure, great, why not?
And it's like Star Trek in a way, because it is a big family. The whole of the SFB, the forums and stuff, they're all a family.
Is it for everybody? It's a family.
Yeah, and for everyone, the actors. It's just like being part of a whole big global family.
Philosophically, I suppose you could say that's true. Yes, everybody shares the same sort of thinking. Science fiction is a very special thing. You understand that, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you fond of it yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, so what do you...
I've watched all of Voyager, I've watched all T-Space.
And what do you think it is about science fiction that's so compelling?
I think it presents an alternative view of the world we're in. It also, it's kind of, best way to describe it, it's a world, really, that you can get in touch with, you can connect with on various levels.
It's an idea that will come to be realized. That's what's so...
If we could just put aside politics, and if we could just...
Well, it doesn't matter if we put them aside or not. It will be realized. Einstein knew this. Richard Feynman knew it. It's the law of physics.
Definitely.
One day, what we espouse now as imaginary truth will be realized truth. That's just the fact of life.
Yeah.
So it's much more than a big family. It's a bunch of brains really thinking very shortly.
Yeah.
This will come to pass, and I will have understood this notion as being correct. And that's exciting.
And 40th birthday of Star Trek this year.
It's the what?
40th and but
That's it?
Yeah.
My God, it's so young. Isn't it young? 40th. One would think 400th. 40th.
Are you looking forward to seeing all your friends again? Because obviously you'll be invited now to do all sorts of events. Are you looking forward to catching up with some old friends when you're there?
At conventions?
At conventions, lunches, brunches, there can be all sorts of things, I imagine.
You mean my crew?
Yes.
No, I mean, I don't really spend time with them when I do conventions, and I don't do very many conventions. The time to see them is privately. One does that in life, you know. I'll call Bob. He's a great cook. Go over there, put my feet up. He'll pour me endless martinis, talk about everything. So you nurture your friendships separately. It's a big thing. You can never get to see your pals at stuff like this. You know, you have to bring your best friend with you.
What has Star Trek given to you?
Oh, comfort. We're well compensated for this hard work. So I won't lie about that. And that's terribly important. It's getting me a kind of resolve. I mean, I was saying this morning, that was the first female captain. That's not without its great pride.
Oh, it's not even.
I worked hard, and I worked as hard as any man. And I also tried to bring to life a captain that they hadn't seen before, notwithstanding my sex, I mean my humanity. And I think I achieved that in large measure, so I'm gratified. I also think that what happened scientifically, over the outreach of science to young women, was of the moment. And during my tenure, the young women were really affected and influenced by Voyager, thinking, if that woman can achieve the captain's seat, the sky's the limit for me. And indeed, I think that it had that impact. So that was very satisfying to me. The friendships and just the good luck of it, the nature of good luck. You know, you get a good hand and you play it well, and it's a nice feeling.
Well, thank you very, very much.
I thank you. So I will call my daughter. We'll make the arrangement. Okay. You will see nobody until you hear from me.
Right, okay. Yes, Captain.
DTRE